grade 10s, and welcome to my channel, The Opinionated Science Educator. Today's video is support for physics learners, particularly in the topic of mechanics. Sometimes you're given problems that you might think, well, there's not quite enough information there to help you. But the problem requires you to use your intuition, and you need to think critically about the problem. Calvin is sitting and doing his homework. He gets this problem. Mr. Jones lives 50 miles away from you. You both leave home at 5 and drive towards each other. Mr. Jones travels at 35 miles per hour and you drive at 40 miles per hour. At what time will you pass Mr. Jones on the road? Well, Calvin, always being witty and funny, thinks given the traffic conditions, who knows? Thinks he always catches these trick questions. But Calvin has not answered the question as his teacher intended him to. So he doesn't solve the physics problems, but he uses the traffic conditions to sidestep thinking it through. So how would you solve this problem? So grade 10s, you get this problem. Two trucks, truck A, traveling from Tshwane at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour, and truck B traveling from Johannesburg at a speed of 120 kilometers per hour, leave exactly at the same. So you have two questions to answer. A, how long does it take the two trucks to pass each other? And B, how far has each truck traveled during this time? So firstly, how long means the time. So if you ask how long, it's the time taken. Part B asks how far. So how far is the distance that each truck has traveled from their starting point. So those are the two parts of the problem. When doing physics problems, I think it's always important to draw a sketch of the two situations, or of the situation, so that you can picture the problem in your mind. So we have the two cities, Tshwane and Johannesburg. They are 69 kilometers apart, and truck A is traveling at 100 kilometers per hour toward truck B, or towards Johannesburg, and truck B is traveling at 120 kilometers per hour towards Tshwane, or truck A. So drawing the sketch gives you a picture of what is happening in your mind. Now, because this is a support video, I want you to really picture this. So I created an animation using stop motion. So let's watch that quickly. Here is truck A and truck B, Johannesburg, Tshwane, one traveling at 100 kilometers per hour, the other at 120. So at what time or how long does it take before they cross each other? And that's what this video is all about. The next stop animation video is a hint. So look at the clock that appears. Here are two people jumping towards each other. They jump once, then they jump a second time, and when they meet each other, when they land, the time is 0. So we're looking at this time, it's the same. Okay, so hopefully that animation gave you a better idea of the problem. So let's now look at solving this problem. When you start solving this problem, you're not actually going to be using a physics equation. To solve this problem, you have to use some of your mathematical concepts, a physics concept, and just your problem solving abilities. So firstly, you need to realize the first part of the question is not going to be solved using a physics equation, but you will solve it based on your understanding of what a rate is. So part A is solved by understanding rates. And in this instance, the rate is speed, the change in distance over time. So we are given the speed, we are given that rate here. Okay, for both trucks, we are given that rate. It is the rate of change of distance per unit time. And we are working with speed, and it's given to us in kilometers per hour. There's no need to convert here because you can give the answers in hours. It doesn't say give your answers in minutes or seconds. So let's see the first thing to do. Truck A travels at 100 kilometers per hour. That means that in 1 hour, truck A will travel 100 kilometers. So how far will truck B travel in 1 hour? Think about that. What is its speed? 120 kilometers per hour. So yes, truck B will travel a distance of 120 kilometers in 1 hour. You know how far the trucks can travel in 1 hour. Now obviously Pretoria and Tshwane and Johannesburg are only 69 kilometers apart. So you should realize this journey will take less than an hour. So that must be kept in the back of your mind. If you get an answer that is more than 1 hour, you should know that you've done something wrong and you need to go back and see where you've made that error. So now we can continue to solve the problem. But how? Well, what distance does truck A and truck B travel in 1 hour? What's the total distance that they could both travel in 1 hour? Well, if truck A can travel 100 kilometers in 1 hour and truck B can travel 120 kilometers in 1 hour, then we need to look at the total distance. So you add the distance that they could travel together. So truck A can travel at can travel a distance of 100 kilometers. Truck B can travel a distance of 120 kilometers. So the total distance that the two trucks together could travel is 220 kilometers. But the cities are only 69 kilometers apart. So what we do, so there you can see the two cities are only 69 kilometers apart. So what we do is we take the distance between the two cities, which is 69 kilometers, and we take then the total distance that both trucks could travel in 1 hour, which is 220 kilometers, and that will give us the time that it will take the trucks to travel 69 kilometers. So the answer for part A is 0.3136 hours into their journey. That is when they will cross each other. It's as simple as that. Okay, so they will meet when they have both been traveling. And remember, we can solve this because when they cross each other's paths, they would have both been on the road for the same time. So that is the key aspect to answering part A, is to know that when they cross each other, they would have been on the road for the same time. So think back to that animation that I did with the two people jumping. The one person was jumping faster than the other, but when they met, if you looked at that time clock, the time they met, it counted down 0 time. They met at the same time. So I hope that animation helped you understand that when two objects traveling at different speeds meet each other, they would have been traveling for the same time. Okay, so that's part A solved, 0.3136 hours. Now I haven't rounded the answer off here because I'm going to be using this answer in further calculations. But you can round this off in your answer that you write down. Just don't round it off in your calculations. So you could write this answer as 0.3 hours.